Does seeing this card make you nostalgic? Does seeing this card remind you of a better time? Do you want to still win games with this card in 2024? I've got a deck for you. Let's build this thing. So I saw this card for Modern Horizons 3, and this card looks really amazing. Not in that it's super strong, but just in that it's super entertaining and fun. So let's read this card, and let me show you what we're going to do here. We kind of have a combo going on here. So whenever you cast a creature spell with power 5 or greater, discover X, where X is that spell's mana value. So you exile cards from the top of your library until you exile a non-land card with a mana value or less, cast it without paying its mana cost, or put it into your hand. So it's kind of like Cascade, but in a weird way it's almost better because you're hitting the same mana value. One super important thing to notice on this that you may miss the first time you read this card. It doesn't say whenever you cast a creature spell from your hand. It says whenever you cast a creature spell at all, from anywhere, as long as it has power 5 or greater. So if you Cascade or if you discover into something that is a creature, you can then cast it, and it will then discover into the next creature. See where we're going with this? Sorry. We're going to build this deck, and we're going to build it for Modern. So we're going to start with our 4 Monstrous Vortex, and then we're going to run Ball Lightning. It is a classic. And we are, of course, going to run 4 of these bad boys. I know how to use... Oh, we got to switch that printing also. Switch printing. Switch printing. We're going... Nope. Magical Online Foil. I don't want that. Masters Edition. Nope. And maybe Masters Edition. Masters Edition is pretty good. Hello, cat. We have a cat who's come to join us. Oh, I don't even see the only one. All right, we're going Masters Edition. Let's do it. Select. Oh, that brings back memories, doesn't it, folks? Doesn't that bring back memories? So Ball Lightning, it costs 3, and its power is 6. So that means it is going to trigger a Monstrous Vortex. Now, for those of you who don't know, there was a color-shifted version of Ball Lightning, and it was called Groundbreaker. It is the exact same card, except it is mono green. This was from where they did the color-shifted cards in that Time Spiral block. For the life of me, I can't remember what it's called. This is not Time Spiral. This was Planar Chaos. This is Planar Chaos is what it is. So now we got 4 of these, which is amazing. Now, in case you don't know the next one, this is actually the best of the 3. Lightning Skelemental. It is a Ball Lightning, except when it connects, it's going to make your opponent discard 2 cards. Instead of being 3 red, it's 2 red and a black. So we're going to discuss our mana base later, but it ain't going to be pretty, let me tell you that. So here's our combo. We're going to play one of these cards, and it is going to discover X being 3. And these are the only things we're going to play that are 3 or less. So it's going to discover into another one, which is going to discover into another one, into another one, into another one, into another one. We can technically get all 12 out by simply casting 1. The smart thing would probably be to get like 5 or 6 out and then take the next one and put it into your hand. And then you can then do it again next turn if you need to. Otherwise, this deck's going to fall to a fog. But here is our combo. So all we need to do is get this in play and then play any of these. And we will be able to put 50, 60, 70 damage on the table that is trample and haste. So sure, they might be able to deal with 1 or 2. You might be able to flash an Orcish Bowmaster and 2-1 down and that's pretty clever. But when there's like 6 of these coming at you, even if you have an Orcish Bowmaster and like a first strike blocker, like you're not going to be able to stop this. Like these guys are just going to run you over. So this is the combo. Now you're probably looking at this being like, okay, that's super cute, but we can't run anything under 3 because obviously if we discover for anything else that's 3 or less, it's going to stop it. So if we have like a 2 mana cost, if we have like a Rampant Growth in here, or if we have like a Birds of Paradise, we're going to hit that and then it's going to stop. So there's a chance you go Ball Lightning and then just hit a Birds of Paradise and then you're stuck. And that's not really going to win the game. And that's not super exciting. And that kind of defeats the purpose of this. How do we solve this problem? And I've been thinking about this one, and I've got some pretty good solutions here. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to, if you've ever played anything with Cascade or Discover, you know that there are ways to get around this and ways that we can make it so that we can still have early plays and not have to deal with that. So let me give you an example right here. We are going to play split cards. Split cards, adventure cards. We're going to play cards with channel. We're going to play cards that on their face value, it's 4 or more, but we're going to be able to play them for less. This is probably one of the best ones. Dead Gone. It is an instant. It's basically a shock. Dead is a shock. It deals 1 damage to target creature. This is going to deal with the Ragavans. This is going to deal with all of your quick creatures that you're going to be seeing in Modern. This is our way to get around it. So we're going to do a whole bunch of things like this. So 4 Dingos. The other thing that we can do is we can do... Is it Grabby? Yes. That's the actual name of the card. I'm like, is it Grabby Giant or is that just what I call it in my head? Grabby Giant. So here's a good example. This lets you play the adventure side, which is the instant, which gets you a treasure token, which is pretty great because we need to ramp up. So we need to deal with things on the board, and then we need to ramp up. This being an instant is fantastic because we can hold it back. If our opponent doesn't do anything super aggressive on turn 2, or that we have a moment, we do this and we get ourselves a treasure token. Note that treasure token is super valuable because our mana base is going to be a giant mess. So we're going to go Grabby Giant. There is also a worm that can do this. It is called... Let's go over here. We're going to be needing Scryfall a lot for this. Because we're going to be playing a lot of cards that are not very well known. It is a worm. It lets you play an extra land is what it does. It's green. It is called Beanstalk Worm. That's it. Okay, so Beanstalk Worm. The adventure side is plant beans. You may play an additional land this turn. Pretty fantastic. So we're going to go with Beanstalk Worm here. I really like this card also because it is going to be, in case you aren't catching this, it is a creature with power 5 or greater. So this is going to discover. So if we happen to have Monstrous Vortex out, we can play Beanstalk Worm, and it is going to discover. Now, granted, it might hit other things, like it could hit this Dead Gone, or it could hit a Monstrous Vortex, but still, a 5/4 for 5 that just lets you get an extra free spell, that's not bad. Like, that's still value, no matter how you slice it, that's still value. Another one is... There you go. I'm like, cut 2 ribbons. This is a good one. So if you're not familiar with these ones, this is the one where you have to play the top side first, and then it's like an adventure. It like exiles, and then you can play the side, the tilted side, the 90-degree side later. No, we're in Jund, so this is totally fine. So deals 4 damage to target creature. That seems pretty good, because that's going to be able to deal with things that are slightly bigger that we might have to worry about, like Kabus and such. So we're going to go up 4 on those. What else do we need? There are other things that get us treasure tokens. We want... I don't know how many of these we want to run, but Magma Opus. So this is the one where you can discard it for 2 red and create a treasure token, so it kind of has channel in a weird way. And then the big side, if for some reason you're ever able to cast it, which isn't unheard of, it can deal 4 damage if you choose them on any number of targets, and then you also tap 2 permanents, get a 4/4 blue, red, and blue elemental, and draw 2 cards. So it's just basically like, that's kind of going to sort of win the game if you're able to like resolve this. But the big thing you're doing here is you are getting an extra treasure token, which, as we pointed out, is something very much needed. What do we got here? 34 cards. Okay. There are a couple other things that we need. There's another split card I want. What is it? It is... Criteria. Split card. Mana value. Greater than or equal to 4. Oh my lord, this is really hard to do on on a computer. There it was, Assault and Battery. That was the other one that I was thinking of. It's obviously not as good as Dead Gone because this is a sorcery, but still, it deals 2 damage. It's going to deal with Ragavans. Getting the 3/3 green elephant is also not terrible. Like, this one's pretty good all around. We're going to save 4 copies, but this is something that you would probably wind up cutting in the sideboard. Like, we might honestly go to like 3 and 3 with Magma Opus. Let's see where we wind up. But that was the one that I was thinking. There's one more that I think we're thinking of that we'd want to play. It is... Like, obviously, there's lots of good sideboard options here also. Don't mind me just turning my head. Okay, I can't block. Dead Gone, that's the great one. Expansion Explosion doesn't really get us there fast. I mean, there's Fire and Ice. Like, Fire deals 2 damage to something. Ice is always pretty good. Insult to Injury, Indulge. I thought there was one more that I wanted. Possibly not. Maybe I'm not. I have a lot of these saved on my phone, so I might go check my phone to see. Response is pretty good. It deals 5 damage to target attacking or blocking creature. That's actually really, really good. Rough and Tumble could be fantastic. Thrash doesn't totally get us there. You know what else we kind of want? We want twin. This is another good example of a card that is above the 4 that we can work. Twin Shot Sniper, if you're not aware. I actually might want this more than Fire and Ice, simply because as a creature, it's not terrible, where it's going to come in and shoot something, while Fire and Ice, it can hit 2 things, but this can basically do the same thing at instant speed and hit any target. So let's go with Twin Shot Sniper. Let's go to 4 on these bad boys. All right, that puts us at 42. We need to run a good amount of lands. Like, honestly, I think we're too many. We're too many cards now because we need lands here. Assault and Battery or Twin Shot Sniper. Let's say we want to cut one of these. Ironically, cut to ribbons. I think I go down because I think we want at least 24 lands in this deck. I'm so used to playing like CEDH that all my decks are 100 cards that I wasn't keeping track here. I think maybe we go down. Two Twin Shot Snipers? That would still put us at 20 lands. That's still a lot, isn't it? Or still too low. I think we need at least 24. Cut to ribbons, Assault and Battery. Here's what I'm thinking here right now for a second here is Beanstalk Worm, because of the 5. Right now, the only things it's going to be able to hit is it would hit Dead Gone. It couldn't hit this. It could hit Assault and Battery. It could hit Cut to Ribbons. So it kind of does the same thing. What do we like better, Assault and Battery or Cut to Ribbons? I feel like Cut to Ribbons is probably the better one. Do we just lose Twin Shot Sniper? Is that what happens here? This is uncounterable, though. There's something to be said about that obviously Twin Shot Sniper is uncounterable. I think we go down because we have Dead Gone. What do you think? Vote in the comments. Which one do we think we remove? Let's just go down a couple here. Let's remove one. Let's remove one. 38, that would put us at 22 lands. That's probably okay. It might be low. Like, honestly, like, we might need more. Now, obviously, we need everything that can get us the mana that we need, and we need to be able to run. Every land basically needs to tap for red and green. We need some things to be able to play the Lightning Skelemental. Technically, we may never need to cast the Lightning Skelemental. Having a black mana source is not as relevant because we have things that can generate the treasure tokens. And as long as we play one of the other 2, the Lightning Skelemental is going to get played for free. But we probably do want something that's going to be able to get us that. So let's play. I mean, I think you probably want to run one Triome, right? One of the Jund Triome. What is the Jund Triome called? Zayatora's Proving Ground? Yeah, one Zayatora's Proving Ground, because we can go fetch that. We obviously need the fetches, so those are going to be the red and green fetch land. It's called Wooded Foothills. I know how to play this game. Okay, we got it for Wood Foothills. We got those. What's the red-green fast line? You know what we need? I don't know how to build a deck without it, so we're doing it, baby. Mana Confluence. Holy moly, $45? What I thought was a budget deck just suddenly became like an astronomical cost. Whatever, we'll deal with that later. Okay, we got Mana Confluence, Zombie Grounds, What Hills. What's the... Do we want the Surveil land? Do we want one Surveil land? Because I think I don't want to play a lot of untapped lands. Like I kind of feel like Ziotor is Proving Ground because we don't have a really good turn one play. Like we have Dead Gone, we have Assault, but that's kind of like it. So we don't really we don't really have a lot of opening plays, to be totally honest. So fetch land into Ziotor's Proving Ground is probably going to be a pretty common grab, and then on turn 2 we like interact with something on the ground, like we wind up cutting or assault or whatever, or Magma Opus. But I feel like this is going to be pretty open. Let's get a couple more fetches here. We're just going all in, and this is this is something that's super important that I want to point out here. That there are all these new MDFCs, so they all cost 3 life to play them and have them come in untapped. I think Modern, because Modern right now, a lot of people say it's like a 17 life format because you like turn 1 fetch into a shock, so you're already down to 17 life. I'm going to say that in a couple months, Modern is going to be like a 15 life format or a 12 life format. And when you're able to just like spit out 6 trample haste damage, like that's a pretty big threat. Like that's going to be threatening people to take out like half their life at that point. And I think you're going to win a lot of games by simply doing that. Like obviously the combo is hilarious and I absolutely love it. And this is going to be great. But I wouldn't be surprised if 50% of the games you win by simply just grinding it out, just like straight John style. You hit their creatures, you assault their Ragavan, you twin shot sniper their Dothy Voidwalker, they hit you with grief, you hit them with the ball lightning, and then you top deck a Groundbreaker, and that wins you the game, and that's game. Like you never even get this. Or this gets countered, and because you got the counter spell out of their hand, the next turn you're able to play a Lightning Skelemental, and that hits them, and they discard 2, and they're they're now top decking. And in a top deck war, I think this deck is going to win a top deck war because you just have too many cards that end the game. Where you just win it, you just top deck it, and you end the game. The worst thing that can happen is you don't have a creature, and then you wind up top decking a Monstrous Vortex. But I don't see that really happening, especially with the Worm. Like this guy. Like, it's just a common, but I cannot emphasize enough like how fantastic this card seems in this deck. Like, to the point where I almost feel like we need to run more lands. Like, we need to be running more lands to try to be solving that problem. Okay, we're running a Bloodstained Mire. I kind of feel like we want to run one more, like, untapped black source. Like, maybe one... So if we happen to draw... If we need to be able to get the Lightning Skelemental, something that we can use that can get us there. So do we need to have one Blood Crypt? So we have one Blood Crypt and one, what's the green-black one? Overgrown Tomb? Overgrown Tomb. Like, I'm hesitant to add these simply because, like, the Ball Lightning and the Groundbreaker both need the triple the triple color. So like if you ramp into this, the worst thing that can happen is you have Blood Crypt and then 2 Stomping Grounds and you're holding a Groundbreaker and you have Monstrous Vortex out. Like that sounds really terrible, but I think we're kind of stuck with that, unfortunately. We probably also want the red-green fast land. What is the red-green fast land? What is that called? It is called... It's red, it's green, it's a land. I probably could have just typed in red-green fast land. I would have come up just as fast. Tapped unless less lands. Come on, is that enough? Oh, there it is. Copperline Gorge. Okay, so we probably want Copperline Gorge. Poor Thran Portal, you're so you're so terrible. All right, so let's run Copperline Gorge. This is also scary though because it's like you don't want to top deck this and not be able to play it tapped. So you don't want this to be your like fourth land. I wish there was one more mana confluence. Like City of Brass isn't legal, is it? Is City of Brass legal in Modern? I'm pretty sure it's not, right? Is it? Is City of Brass legal in Modern? City of Brass? Are you legal in Modern? Oh, you're legal in Modern. Okay, that solves the problem. City of Brass. Bingo bango. City of Brass. That gets us there. All right, like honestly, I might go down a Copperline Gorge. I hate tapped lands. Like, I might lose the Zayatara's Proving Ground is what I might lose, because then at least we have an option. Like we have no lands that have to come in tapped except for the Copperline Gorge. Or do we lose a Blood Crypt? What do we got? Red, green, red, green, red, red. I'm saying that's red, 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 red. Okay, I think we lose the one Overguard Tomb. Let's remove that. Boop, and we'll go up another City of Brass. Add one. Okay, so we're at 60 cards. Okay, 22 lands. Like, I still don't love only running 22 lands. That feels low considering we need to hit 4. Like, sure, we're ramping, but then Beanstalk Worm is not as great because it's like, it lets us play an extra land. But if you don't have an extra land to play, or if you play your extra land and then you don't have something to draw, it's not super great. I know I was like talking this thing up immensely. I might want to go down one and to run another Magma Opus or to run another land. Twin Shot Sniper is cute, but honestly I might remove it. It is instant speed though. Overcut over Assault and Battery. What do you think? Like, do we lose this and go up an extra Twin Shot Sniper? If Twin Shot Sniper had like power 5, which would be absolutely absurd if it was like a 5-1, like that would be amazing. But obviously he's just a 2-3. To get us an extra land. I might go down a Worm. Like, I like the ability to ramp, but I think I like the ability to, like, not not get mana screwed a little bit better. 23 lands is feeling pretty good. Do we want this? I mean, this could also be one of those things where it's like what you change in your sideboard here. You know what I mean? Where it's like you might want to. Which would you rather have? Would you rather have an elephant? Or would you rather have a 2-3 reach that can shoot something? What's a better play? This is instant speed. Let's move these to the sideboard. How about that? Let's go. This can deal with a turn one Ragavan though, but so can Dead Gone. I'm so torn. I'm so torn here. Let's move these guys to the sideboard. Move to sideboard. Move to sideboard. Because you know what? Let's move on. Let's lean more into the whatchamacallit. Let's lean more into the combo and actually go up a Magma Opus. Like, let's add one. Because, boy, that treasure token sure seems good. Now we're at 59 lands. And let's maybe go up one more land. Do we go up a Blood Crypt? Do we go up another Search? Maybe we go up one more fetch. Can we really get away with 7 fetches? 7 fetches? I mean, that's a lot of fetches where we could hit that point where we just don't even have something to hit with to go and fetch with a fetch. Small thing to say that we might just want to run one forest just so we don't get Blood Moon. But once again, like, is Blood Moon really that detrimental? Does Blood Moon really hurt us that bad? It's hard to say. Because with Blood Moon, we can still discard and we can still, like, the hardest thing is going to be that Groundbreaker if we get Blood Moon. Let's just go up one Copperline Gorge. Like, we could change that. All right, so if we're going to take this deck seriously and actually think of playing it competitively, we need a much better sideboard than nothing right now. So the problem is we still have the same restrictions. So we can't run anything that costs under 3. So that does turn off a lot of things that you would normally want to run in the sideboard, like Hearse or Surgical Extraction or Thoughtseize or things like that. But there's a couple things we can run. So here's the main thing. Right now we are very centric in dealing with creatures on board. If we're dealing with something that's not creature heavy, we need something to deal with that. I got a solution. Look at this card. Rise and Fall. You probably have never even seen this card, but the black-red side is kind of like a hymn to Torok. And if more people are truly going to be running MDFCs, this is going to be really fantastic. It costs 4, so obviously it's going to work with what we want to do, but we're going to be costing it for that fall side. So let's move this to the sideboard. And let's move this up to 4, because this is if we're facing some type of combo deck or some type of combo deck becomes the main thing, we're going to want a lot of these. Now, the other thing that we can run, sure, we can't run Hearse and we can't run Surgical Extraction, but we can run Leyline of the Void. And right now, Scam is still one of the best decks in the format. That might change when this set comes out, but for right now it is. So it is not a bad idea to run some Leylines of the Void. They cost 4. Obviously, we never plan on casting it for 4. Our plan is to be able to just get it in there. So we are going to get that up there also. So now we're getting somewhere. The other thing I think we want to run, Leyline of Sanctity. Same thing here, but this is going to protect us. This is going to protect us from getting scammed. It can protect us from burn, which we're going to be very much in danger of. So I think this is a good one to run also. So let's move this to the sideboard. This would put us at 15. I'm going to actually, let's go down an Assault and Battery. Let's remove this, because once again, we are still very creature-centric heavy, like dealing with creatures here. Let's remove one more, so we kind of don't have any additional creature options. And what I actually want to run is Force of Vigor. I think this is going to be much wanted in the sideboard. That's an instant run. Where'd you go? Yeah, Force of Vigor. Oh, I didn't realize that there was the that version there. That one's super awesome there. So let's go up to 2 on this. So add 1 more. So there we go. This feels like a legitimate solid sideboard. This will actually like do things. The one thing that I might consider doing is running an extra Magma Opus in the sideboard instead of maybe this Twin Shot Sniper. If our goal is just to go faster, that'll get us there faster. Like honestly, I might just do that. I might, you know what, let's just do it. Let's remove this and let's run an extra Magma Opus. Move to sideboard. Move 1 copy to the sideboard. There we go. And then add 1. Yeah, there we go. Cool. Now we have a sideboard. And it's a sideboard I feel pretty good about. So if we need to go turbo mode, you know, it's 1 card, but hey, it could make a difference. So here's the deck. I feel good about it. Like, I think this is a legitimate deck. Like, is this going to be S tier? Probably not. But could this hold its own in a modern environment? I think it could. I think this could legitimately be good. It would legitimately be fun. I can promise you that. If you build and play this deck, it would be a ton of fun. All of that price is being held up by that mana base. So if something ever happens and those lands get a little cheaper, that'll make a huge difference. But I think this deck is fantastic. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you would have any interest in playing this, or if you do play it, like let me know how it goes. I'd love to see some people play this in some leagues, even if it's just like obviously Magic Online leagues. But here it is. We got it. We built it. It is 12 ball in Modern. And I absolutely love this. I adore this deck. So I might go ahead and build this. And if there's a Modern event in my area, I might go ahead and play it. Or at a big convention I'm at, I might build this and play it there. So check it out. Let me know what you think. If there's anything else you could think of that I'm just like, I'm missing and that's amazing tech, tell me in the comments. Like, I am super curious. Like, I thought very hard about this and I like really kind of like dove deep, but I am always open to suggestions if someone has a suggestion for running something different or doing something that I'm not thinking of. So, but here it is. Here, I think it's amazing. I love it. Let me know what you think. Have a good day. Okay, so me from the future here, and I realized something in building this deck that I can't believe I did not think of originally, and that is we are able to use Karuga as a companion since everything costs 3 or more since we're using all these split cards. So that gives us another thing that we can use to trigger the Vortex, because obviously its mana cost is it's 5, so that's going to let us discover 5, and its power is 5. So this is pretty fantastic, giving us this extra card, and there's literally nothing we have to change about this other than we got to remove one sideboard card. So let's set this guy as companion. And then I think we're going to remove... Let's get rid of the Magma Opus. I'll miss you, but I think this is the right call. So there we go. Now we have a deck. We have a companion, which is pretty amazing in Modern. And this is where we landed. This is where we stand. So I'm feeling good. Let me know what you guys think.